And so I think my first real question around all this is, how does it feel to leave after all these years?
Originally leading up to it was rather tough. I would say certainly emotional. Uh, Chief Ortega witnessed some of that. But I've gone past that, past the reservation, past the emotion, and into a place of excitement and looking toward the future. So it's exciting, and frankly, there I can already start to feel a weight lifted, and I'm sure that weight just simply transferred from myself to the gentleman next to me.
Yeah, and so speaking of that weight, I first want to get an understanding of kind of how long have you been with Red Bluff and been in law enforcement, and then yeah, how are you feeling as you come into this position?
So Kyle started his career with the city of Red Bluff in December of 1996, and I started in January of 1997. So we've been here 28 years, and it feels great to be part of this community for that long and to be in these positions to be able to affect change if change is needed, and just to continue the positive attributes that the city expects of us and for us to improve the city the best way that we can.
Absolutely. And so you guys have really been kind of brothers in arms here at in Red Bluff. And so, from your guys' perspective, how has the city changed under your guys' service? Maybe Quentin, if you want to start that off.
It's difficult as society changes, then the city changes. So the more money a city has, the better the sales tax or the revenue is, then the more progress we get to see. When cities don't do so well, then we have deteriorating roads or deteriorating in society. So we do the best that we can with what we have to work with. And we always look forward to working with the community and making sure the community is safe.
Absolutely. And what's been your thoughts?
So a lot has changed over the past 28 years, almost 3 decades. Certainly a number of laws, first starting in 2011, latter part of 2011, became quite impactful and then increased in 2014, 2016 again, 2018. We just were bombarded for a period of beyond a decade with some pretty horrendous laws affecting and impacting not only law enforcement but communities. And so we've seen the result there of that here in this city, of course, as we have throughout the state of California. That aside, one of the things I've noticed is the never-changing laws. One year this is not illegal, the next year it is, or vice versa. Also, in the city of Red Bluff specifically, it's been noticeably more busy in the last decade than it certainly was in our first decade.
Okay. And yeah, I mean, speaking of business, speaking of kind of the change in Red Bluff, something I think has been a topic, especially this last few months, is gang violence and how that has been going in the city. And so I know when I've talked to school resource officers with you guys that they've been seeing progress within the schools themselves. But do you guys feel like you guys, as a whole, community wide, have been making progress when it comes to dealing with youth violence, dealing with these gangs that are in the community?
Can I start that one?
Mm-hmm.
So what I would say first is that this is not a new issue. When I started in 1996 and when Quintan started in 1997, we were dealing with significant gang issues. We had quite a visible gang issue, and we addressed it rather aggressively to the extent that we could. So it's nothing new, but it does remain, and there has felt like there's been an uptick recently. We know with the murder of a 16-year-old boy just a matter of months ago, that has created some new tension in this region, in the city of Red Bluff and the surrounding areas. So we're cognizant of that fact. So we're not ignorant in any way. It does exist. It is here. Fortunately for the majority of our citizens, gang members typically and ordinarily, and I have to emphasize those words because there are exceptions occasionally, but they target other gang members. Not that that makes it good or okay. It doesn't. But our typical everyday citizen should not have to worry too much themselves about gang activity.
And part of the process for us to be proactive in mitigating whatever the crimes that might occur from gang activity is through the district attorney's office. We've established a countywide special investigations unit. So that unit is comprised of different law enforcement agencies within Tama County, which we're part of. So through that special investigations unit, we're able to combat some of the gang activity and be more proactive when it comes to finding out who's involved in gangs and determining how best we can deter their activity.
Okay. And so, yeah, I mean, moving forward, Quentin, for you, I mean, what are your kind of priorities, your goals going to be?
Well, Kyle and I have worked together for so long, and we've been together for 10 years in administration. So there really won't be too significant changes because we've been together for so long, and we're just managing what we have, continue to hire the best people that we can hire, and move forward with what the community needs out of us for service. There'll be some small changes along the way, but overall, it would just be continuing to provide the service to the cities and the community the best that we can.
Absolutely. And how are you feeling with, as you guys have said, you guys have been working together for a long time. How does it feel now that you're going to be moving forward without Kyle from here on?
It's interesting because we've been together, we've been at this agency for so long, and we've always been here for one another, been able to talk to each other and bounce ideas off of each other or any issues that come up. So not having him around will be interesting, but he's been an excellent leader and a excellent mentor to me and to our administrative team. So our new captain and our lieutenant, we were going to move forward and work together in producing the best capabilities and outcome that we can for our agency.
And for Kyle, does it feel comforting to be leaving this organization you have been leading for so long in the hands of someone you have worked with for so much of that time?
Most definitely, and it was one of the reasons for the timing. Is I did want to leave it in somebody's hands that I was confident in, and if I had held on too many more years, I think Quintan probably would have chose to retire, perhaps ahead of me. But it was important to me actually that I turn it over to somebody that I trust, I believe in, that I know, and I have all of those things with Quintan Ortega. He was my captain. We were hand in hand as chief and captain for almost 10 years, 9.5 years. And he served faithfully. He served well. He did exceptional in that role. And that's why I have great confidence and comfort, really a peace about it, that I can step aside and know that this agency is in strong hands and on a great trajectory.
Okay. And then, Kyle, this is kind of my last question for you is, do you have a final message for the community after all these years of service?
Well, first of all, it's been an honor. It's been an absolute honor, a privilege to serve in this community. I was born and raised here. So I've been here almost 52 years. And so for a better part of my life, I've been with this department, serving it in some capacity. As chief, they've supported me, but not only me, they've supported our department these past decades. In times of unrest throughout the state or the country, most citizens here showed their support during those challenging and tough times. So I would just say thank you, simply thank you for your trust in me. And that's what it was. People had trust in me. And I very much appreciate that. And I just am so thankful for the privilege to be able to have served them and just have served this department.
Absolutely. And to you, in your kind of first days in office, do you have a message to the community as you move forward under your leadership?
Well, every employee with the Red Bluff Police Department and the city of Red Bluff, we're dedicated to our community. And so the men and women that work here at this agency are committed to providing the service to the community. And we look forward to continuing to provide that service to the best of our ability. And we are dedicated to our city and to our community as a whole. And we look forward to providing that service the best we can as we move forward.
Okay. I think that's all I had to ask. Sergio, any questions on your mind?
No, you did a great job. You're good.
Cool. All right. Well, anything else you guys wanted to say? Anything else feels important to mention?
I think I just appreciate you coming in and talking to me and Kyle as we do this transfer of command. We look forward to what the future brings for all of us, him in his retirement, and then for me taking over and following in his footsteps and then leading this agency into our future and for our community.
Absolutely.
And lastly, I'm just excited for this new administrative team. I know that they're going to do great things. The work that's been going on for the better part of a decade is not stopping, and I'm hopeful that they will find some things to change or to be renew or do slightly different. Things don't have to stay the same, and so I'm excited for Chief Ortega. I'm excited for Captain Murguia and for the new Lieutenant Mike Brown.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys.